Hello everyone, Andregat here and welcome back to another mount guide. Today I wanted to step away a bit from Midnight and do something a little different. So I decided to start a new series where I go over easy mounts you can pick up across different expansions. Mounts that don't rely much on luck or RNG, but are instead much easier to obtain. In total, you can walk away with 20 mounts from this list, since some of these methods actually reward more than one. If you are new to the game or just starting your mount collection, this is a great place to start. And for the dedicated collectors, let me know by the end how many of these you already had, and let's get straight into it. To kick things off, we have two mounts that are 100% drop from the Obsidian Sanctum raid. Those are the Black Drake and the Twilight Drake. For new players, or if you've forgotten where this raid is located, you'll need to take the portal to Dalaran in Northrend. From there, fly to Dragonblight and head toward the Wyrm's Temple. There is a gap underneath the temple, go down there and you'll find the entrance of this raid at the end. Both of these mounts are guaranteed, and depending on which difficulty you run, you'll get the appropriate mount. In no particular order, let's take the Twilight Drake first. You need to enter the raid on normal and 25 player difficulty. The most important thing here is to go straight to Sarthorion and kill him. Do not kill or engage with any of the other mini bosses or ads before the fight. And like I said, this is crucial. Once you kill Sarthorion, everything else in the instance will get pulled in as well. Clean up those ads and you'll be able to loot your mount from the chest. I actually recommend pulling the ads slightly to the side before killing them so they don't stack on top of the chest. It can get a bit messy and you might have a hard time spotting the loot. If you can't find it, just look underneath the corpse of the boss and you should be able to find it. Just look for the cogwheel icon. So, like I said, all you need to do is to kill the boss first and then deal with anything else that gets pulled. That's all it takes. If you do that correctly, the mount will drop. You have to repeat the same thing on 10 men if you wanna get the Black Drake. A bit of a history lesson here, gather around if you're new to WoW. Because of how raid lockouts worked in Wrath, you'll need to wait for the weekly reset to be able to run it again on a different difficulty. However, if you use an ult, you can grab both mounts in the same week. One character does the 10 man while the other does the 25 man, and you get both drakes. Speaking of drakes, next comes the Bronze Drake, one of the easiest dragon mounts to get. This particular one comes from the dungeon Culling of Stratholme, but only on heroic difficulty. First of all, make sure you have around 20 minutes available, because that's roughly how long this will take. To find the entrance, take the portal from your capital to the Caverns of Time. Go down the tunnel, or if you want to take a break, talk to the dragon and he'll provide the taxi service for you. Once you make it to the ground floor, then just open your map and head to the Culling of Stratholme. It literally indicates where you need to go. Also, don't forget to set your dungeon difficulty to heroic before you enter. Your objective here is to clear the dungeon, well, the first 3 bosses to be more precise, while beating the timer. Now, you don't actually need to kill the final boss Mal'Ganis, you only need to defeat the first 3 bosses within the time limit and kill the bonus boss that drops the mount. I know some of you might not be familiar with this dungeon, so I'll walk you through the route. If you already know how to get to Mal'Ganis, you can skip ahead, but don't kill him yet. I'll explain what to do in just a bit. For everyone else, here's how it works. First, talk to Dearest Chromie to pick up the initial quest. You'll get an item in your inventory which you'll use on the suspicious grain crates to reveal them. You can drag it onto your action board if that makes things easier. Once you have uncovered all 5 crates, turn in the quest to Chromie and talk to her to start the RP. You can get another quest, though not really sure if this is mandatory. I got it anyway. You'll see Uther with his paladins and Jaina having a disagreement with Arthas. Gotta purge this city, blah blah blah. In all seriousness, if you have never really done this before, you really need to take this seriously. It's such an amazing moment, experiencing the downfall of Arthas. Anywho, there is quite a bit of RP in this dungeon overall, which is why I said you should have some time before starting. Now, the timer starts once you enter Stratholme, and you'll have 25 minutes to complete this. You'll mostly be following Arthas, so make sure to talk to him whenever you need to advance to the next step. The first step is clearing the Scourge waves. Look for those white flag icons on your map. Those show where the big Scourge mobs are spawning. Abominations, spiders, real ugly creatures. Keep killing those until the first boss appears. You'll know when he spawns because you'll see a message in chat and he'll start patrolling. Kill him and then finish off any remaining Scourge waves. After that, move on to the second boss, kill him and head for the town hall and talk to Arthas. It's a bit of a maze here, not gonna lie, I never liked this dungeon, but as long as you don't go AFK and follow Arthas as I said, you will make it in time. You can always ask me in the comments or come to my streams if you run into any issues. And that obviously applies to everything else in this video. Follow him into the building, talk to him when needed, and just be a bit patient here. This dungeon is Sin's Wrath. It can be a bit slow. You'll then kill the third boss and follow Arthas through this secret passage to reach to the other side of the city. You'll see this section which is on fire, just clear the next 2 areas of mobs and eventually Arthas will stop and give his next line. Now here's the important part. Since you are here for the mount, do not go to the right which leads to Mal'Ganis, the final boss, instead go to the left and head deeper into Market Row. If you've done everything within the time limit, and as you can see I still had plenty of time left, then you'll come across the Infinite Corruptor. This is the bonus boss that if you kill within the timer, you'll get the Bronze Drake. And that's it. At that point you can either go back and finish the dungeon by killing Mal'Ganis or you can peace out. If you want to finish it though, you'll need to talk to Arthas to activate the final boss and go through the gate. Now because I want to give you the full picture, some people said that they have killed Mal'Ganis first and then the Infinite Corruptor and still got the mount, as long as they beat the timer. So it does seem like you can complete the whole dungeon and then go for the dragon. That said, I'll leave that up to you. I'm just telling you how I did it. I killed the Infinite Corruptor first, then Mal'Ganis, and it worked just fine. If you somehow fail the timer, you can always try again on another tune, but as long as you beat the timer and kill the dragon, the mount should be yours. Next up on our list, we're heading to Dalaran in Northrend and specifically to a vendor called Mei Francis. Apparently, you can find her in both versions of Dalaran, yes, both in Legion and Wrath, but I'll say it's best to go to Wrath. In both versions of the city, she's located near the pet shop just before you head to the Flight Master area. You can buy 11 mounts from here using only gold, no reputation, no farming, just good old gold. Most of them are faction specific, so they'll differ depending on whether you play Alliance or Horde. For example, Alliance tunes get Griffons, while Horde characters get Wind Riders. Not to mention, some of these are actually very useful, like the Traveler's Tundra Mammoth, which starts at 20k gold and comes with repair and vendor access. I did say starting price because if you increase your Kirintor reputation, you'll get a discount. At least in the Northern Dalaran, reaching Exalted with them will break it down to 16k. Or you can always bring a Goblin for the best possible discount, no matter your rep standing. Honestly, it's always good to have one around for moments like this. They really pay off.
I got the best deals anywhere.
While the Mammoth comes in handy in many situations, especially for repairing and selling your trash when you're out in the world, we all know there is a much better option out there. One that comes with repair, a vendor and transmogrification. I am of course talking about the Grand Expedition Yak. But before I tell you all about it, I need to tell you about Manta Sleep, the sponsor of today's video. They make premium masks for anyone who struggles to get proper rest. And honestly, I think every WoW player could use one, especially those of us who are ruining our sleep schedules just to get another mount or to get some gear at 3 AM. I'm a pretty light sleeper myself and I've been using one lately and I gotta tell you, I really liked it. It completely blocks out all light, which makes me sleep faster and for longer, giving me a proper night's rest. It's also fully adjustable, as you can see, so it can pretty much fit any type of head shape out there. Also, what I really do like is these inner caps, because they don't come directly into contact with your eyelids, so it makes it even more comfortable, but still giving you a total blackout. The model I chose actually has a built-in Bluetooth speaker to it, so you can connect it to your phone and listen to any type of music or podcast, whatever helps you fall asleep. They do of course have so many models in the website. I'm gonna have the link in the description, so please go and check it out. And that's not all, you can also use my code AndricAts10 to get 10% off. Again, huge thanks to Manta Sleep for sponsoring this video. Supporting them also helps support this channel and lets me keep making guides like this. Alright, I think I'm just gonna go have a nap and you can go watch the rest of this video. Now, most of you probably already have this or at least know about it, but if you just started playing WoW like, I don't know, yesterday, you might not. And I have to be honest here, like, I can't see why anyone will want to skip this mount, even if you knew about it. We all know transmog is the real endgame, so in the very unlikely scenario that you don't have it, or don't know about it, you can buy from Uncle Bigpocket in Kun-Lai Summit in Pandaria. Specifically, he's located at the Grammel Bazaar. And with a name like that, it's only fitting that you do need some pretty big pockets yourself. Because to get this, you're gonna need a whopping 120k in gold. So yeah, I guess that's one reason some people don't have it. No excuse for the other two though, there are two much cheaper Yak Mounts sold by the same vendor sitting at around 3000 gold each. I mean, that seems very budget friendly compared to the very expensive Transmog Yak. You get one in grey and one in bronze, and like I said, they are quite the bargain. They are of course less useful and not as exciting as the Transmog Yak, but hey, they are still mounts. Okay, they're actually kinda cute, I like the way they run. Regardless, if you want to increase that mount collection of yours, these are definitely worth picking up. Also, now that we have housing in the game, if you get the Grammel Endeavor, you can use this portal to teleport straight to one keg, which is literally just a few steps away from the vendor. And just a quick mention here, goblins do not get any discount on these mounts, since I guess they're not tied to any faction, so yeah, you are paying full price whatever you do. While we are in Pandaria, let's check out another easy mount to get, the Disc of the Red Flying Cloud. This one has a very unique way of being obtained, which makes it quite special. It's easy in the sense that there is no RNG, but you do need to invest a bit of time. You'll need to reach Exalted with the Lorewalkers, but this is not like a typical reputation grind. All you need to do is fly around Pandaria and interact with lore objects scattered across the zones. And when I say objects, I really mean things like scrolls and statues. You'll see a blue glow around them if you haven't interacted with them yet, and once you reach them, that glow fades away. I'll make sure to have all the coordinates in the description below so you can copy-paste them straight into the game. For this, you'll want to use the TomTom add-on and just type /ttpaste and you can import all the coordinates at once. So finding and interacting with all of these items will complete achievements, which in return give Lorewalkers reputation. That's one facet of gaining reputation. The other is that every quest you complete will also give you additional reputation, and that's basically how you continue your way all the way to Exalted. How do you get these quests? Well, every time you complete one of those achievements, Lorewalker Cho will send you a scroll in the mail. Using that item starts a quest that sends you back to the Seat of Knowledge. This is at the top layer of Mokushan Palace in Vale of Eternal Blossoms, and handing in the quest will prompt him to tell you a story. I mean, he's so good at telling stories, is he not? If you don't see him, that means you need to change it to the OG phase of the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, which is before the Nizoth invasions. Talk to Zidormi at the Mokushan Palace balcony, and she can alter the timeline. That's not all though, there are ways to speed things up even more. For one, you can save all the quest turn-ins for the end, and once you hit Revered, you can buy the Grand Commendation of the Lorewalkers. You can find it from the Quartermaster sitting next to a tiger, again here in the Seat of the Knowledge. This is a key item because it can boost all of your gains even more. As you can see, this doesn't show up on my account anymore because I already bought and used it in the past. After using it, you can go back and finish with the remaining quests, and you'll see that you are suddenly getting double the reputation. That's actually what you are seeing me get in the footage because I've used the commendation before. It works account-wide, yes, but the reputation itself is character-specific, so obviously stick with one tune to get to Exalted. Once you are done, once you are Exalted, you can can buy the mount from Shin Tiao, the quartermaster on the upper floor of Mokushan Palace. Thanks to skywriting, Pandaria doesn't feel nearly as huge as it used to, so you can absolutely get this mount in like 30 minutes or so. I'll also link the Wowhead guide that helped me the first time I did this farm, in case you need more guidance. No matter how you decide to go at it, this one is extremely fast, at least compared to any other reputation farm in this game that usually takes days, weeks, or even months of doing dailies and other mundane things. And that brings us to the last mount for today, and for that one I need to take you to Draenor. There are actually several mounts that drop from rare mobs across the walls of Draenor zones, though I'll focus today on the one that's the easiest to get, and maybe save the others for another video. The mount I'm talking about is Garn Nighthowl, a dark brownish/black wolf mount. I'll be honest, if you have the gold, it's probably easier to just buy it and save yourself the time. Otherwise, if you feel like farming it, you'll need to find the rare No Karosh, a rare wolf which spawns on the far west side of Frostfire Ridge. Perhaps it's easier for this to do it on a horde tune, because their garrison is literally just a few steps away. So this rare is quite popular since many players farm it to sell the mount on the auction house. That said, it really doesn't go for much these days. It's between 400 gold to maybe 1k at the very best. So yeah, I wouldn't really recommend it as a good gold making method. So yeah, there is a high chance that you might not find it if you go to this area, but the good thing is that it does respawn every 10 to 15 minutes, so just wait a bit and it should spawn. That super quick respawn timer really makes it easy to farm. I killed it once just to test it and it really did respawn again within 10 minutes. So yeah, it doesn't really take that long. Also important to mention here that if you are farming this with a friend, keep in mind that the mount is not a personal loot, so you'll have to roll for it if you're in a group. Best to do it solo, really. Whether you decide to farm it or just spend a bit of gold, at the end of the day, this mount is definitely one of the easiest to get. You're right, that wasn't the last one. I mentioned only 19 mounts so far, so I'm just gonna throw in one bonus to round it up to 20. It just has a better ring to it. So yeah, an easy mount to grab if you are starting your collection right now is the Vale of the Suns. You can literally just buy it straight from the auction house. On EU realms, it usually sits around 40k in gold. Now, if you want to make things harder for yourself, you absolutely can. Who am I to deny you that? You can level up your Cataclysm Alchemy, farm the recipe through 12-year archaeology, craft the mount, and even mass produce it to sell for gold. I'm not gonna go into all the nitty-gritty here though, because I already made a full guide on how to craft it yourself, and it still works great to this day. If you still craft it yourself, it's not gonna be any cheaper than at least 30,000, so I think you can just save yourself some time and just buy it from the auction house. Unless if you wanna sell it for gold. This mount essentially transforms you into a Sandstone Dragon, and you can carry another person with you. So it's a 2-person flying mount. What's not to love? And like I said, fairly easy to get. And yeah, that's pretty much all for today. Let me know if you already knew about all of these mounts and if I did help you pick up some new ones. This game is huge, so it's very easy to miss even the most obvious things. If you did already have everything, I still really appreciate you sticking around. Drop this emoji in the comments so I can see you. Okay, thank you so much for sticking around until the very end, and make sure to drop a like if you have found this video helpful. Don't forget to subscribe for more WoW coverage and hit the bell to stay up to date. It's completely free and it really helps me out. If you're feeling extra generous, you can check out the other ways to support the channel in the description. But honestly, just being here until the very end and feeding the algorithm helps more than you think. So seriously, thank you. Good luck with your mounts and whatever else you're doing, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!